Hey Bagmaker, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everybody, happy Sunday and welcome to Sewcial Sunday. I was watching everyone in the comments before the show started, so I wanted to wish a very happy birthday to Retha. I hope you had a wonderful day today on your birthday. I see Faye is watching from Fort Worth, Texas. Clovis is watching from Indiana. Hey Clovis. Tracy's watching from Sugar Land, Texas. So welcome everyone to Sewcial Sunday. Danny will be joining me in just a second, and I have a few links in the description, so things that I'm planning on talking about I've linked to in the description. So just a few either sewing related things or just things that are going on in my life that I wanted to talk to you about. Today I was attempting to clean my sewing room, and I don't know if usually I'm okay with straightening up a room, but I had let things get really, really bad. I had just piles of fabric, piles of tools, notions, interfacing bolts of fabric lying all over the place, and it was sort of like had a little path to walk. And I just was not in the mood to straighten up, but I needed to because I came over to the cutting table right here to work on a pattern, and there was no room on the table. So I thought, all right, let's just get this over with and clean. So I tried cleaning in short spurts. So like 10 minutes is what I could do until I just felt annoyed and bored, and then I had to go off and do something else. And I think I'm about quarters of the way finished. I just have a few, I don't know, I tend to stack papers everywhere, so I have on two of my sewing machines I have paper stacked, and I really need to find a place for them because it just really looks messy when you have things piled like in the throat space of your sewing machine. So hopefully tomorrow morning I can finish the job, get it done with. And my strategy was we're going to have Christmas Eve at our house for my parents, my grandma, my mother-in-law, and my brother. And my strategy is to just clean a little bit every day rather than everything the day before, because then things get really crazy. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I've linked to the December challenge in the comments. This month's challenge is either to make the Newfoundland pouch from Minikin Season 3, or you can make one of the 4 projects that I released as standalone patterns this year. So that would be let's see if I can remember all 4 of them: the Sky Harbor tote, the Starling bag, the Chickadee backpack, and the Stingray bag. I remembered them all. Sometimes I have difficulty remembering pattern names, especially I have the biggest problem remembering pattern names from my 2 books because it feels like so long ago. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
Yeah, so I'm glad I remembered those. Besides the December challenge, let's see what else is going on. I bought myself, I'm a little late, but I bought myself an advent calendar. I know I see a lot of cool advent calendars online, sewing advent calendars, calendars with wine in them. What else? Chocolates. My mom gave me an advent calendar with chocolates for my birthday, and I got this. My friend got this. Maybe you can help me hold this up. It's a...
Do you need help or you got it?
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Bon Maman, I'm not sure. But this is my favorite jam, and they have an advent calendar with little doors.
Did you buy this for yourself?
Like this. I bought this for myself. Let me show you what the little jars look like. So there's 24 jars, and they're really small, but a lot of them are special flavors that you can't buy regularly. This one is lemon yuzu, and what else did I have? This morning I had strawberry rhubarb. It's a little jar, so for me, I like to slather on the jam, so it's enough for like a half of a bagel. But since I'm running late, I can have, today I had 2 already, and this is the 3rd one, so I noticed that they're now sold out on the website, but I signed up for their newsletter so that I could be notified next year when they come out with this jam advent calendar. So I've linked to their website in the description in case you would like to do the same. And are there advent calendars that you see that kind of catch your eye, or are you just not really interested?
Only ones not for me personally, but I've seen some cool fabric ones on Instagram of people I follow. And I think that's pretty cool. Like
Crimson Tate, is that the one that you saw?
I don't want to say because I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've only seen the calendar and they're opening like a new piece of fabric daily, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the website and shop, Crimson Tate, had a really cool fabric advent calendar this year with individually wrapped little packets of fabric. So if you're interested in that for a gift idea for next year, the website is crimsontate.com. Renee says it's in French. It means good mom. Thank you, Renee.
That's cool.
What else did I write down? Oh, last Sunday on the show, someone mentioned, because as you're probably aware if you watch the show often, I'm a really big fan of board games and card games and also dice games. I didn't write the person's name down that recommended it, but we put the comment on the screen last Sunday. They recommended Genius Star. So this
Is that the one I have a
evening,
picture of?
yes, Danny's going to put the picture on the screen. I didn't get the game yet, but the reviews looked awesome, and I got it for...
That was a quick one.
In case we needed an extra gift. I'm not sure who's getting it, but someone's getting that when it arrives. Yeah, there's the game. And there's an easier version called Genius Square, but I read the reviews, and Genius Square looked like half the people said it was kind of easy, so maybe it's better for younger kids, but my kids are teenagers now, so I figured we need the challenging one. So thank you for that recommendation, and let's get over to your pick of the week.
All right. My picture of the week is going to be for an awesome Tower crossbody bag. Let's see if I can get it up here.
Everly?
Yeah, I was looking at what it says in the center part.
Oh, okay. Accessorize yourself. That's
Awesome.
the name
Thank
of
you.
her.
I couldn't read it. Yeah, Everly made an awesome Tower crossbody bag. Great pictures. I love the color of it, the little fine touches that just make it her own, and wonderful job. Great job.
Can you put that first picture back up again, or is it going to post both of them?
It's going to do both.
Okay.
I turn it off.
It just looked so amazing, and I love the butterfly in the front.
She did applique, I'm pretty sure, or embroidery, excuse me.
Yeah,
Said. That's not the fabric.
I love it, and it looks really good with the background fabric. It just really makes that butterfly pop. So, really great job.
I can't make go away, sorry.
If you're interested, the Tower Crossbody Bag is a free pattern and video, and you can find that on our YouTube channel and on my website. Let's see, what else? Oh, your second favorite part of the show, when you're on the show, because your pick of the week is your favorite, we'd like to invite all of the bag makers to stand proud. Let us know in the comments that you're part of the So Sweetness Squad. We're so happy that you're here, and happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. Happy holiday season, and I hope, I'm really excited for 2022. I think it's going to be a really awesome year. Let's see. Some of you were asking to see what my Christmas sewing ended up looking like, and I'm sort of halfway done with it. So I finished a quilt for my trainer at the stable. Her name is Paula, and I can show pictures of the quilt because she sort of knows, and also I'm 100% sure she doesn't watch our show. So Danny's going to put the picture on the screen. The long armor sent me these pictures today. And I've linked to the quilt pattern for this quilt in the instructions. The pattern is for several sizes of the quilt, and so Paula, this is a quilt design that Paula requested, so I made the quilt. I think it's a king size quilt, and I felt a little disappointed because she knows what she's getting for Christmas, so I made her. Her dog is named Arrow. It's an Australian Shepherd, and he's at the stable every day, so I feel like he's kind of my foster dog in a way. Not really, but like I see him 5 days a week, and he lets me pet him for as long as I want to. So I made a smaller version of the exact same quilt, like a baby crib size quilt for Arrow. I know it's kind of a little silly making a quilt for a dog, but I just thought she would really enjoy that, and so that's part of my Christmas sewing completed. I don't mean to sound mean, but I was hoping, like, she would open the Arrow's little quilt and she would cry. Not that I want to make her cry, but like I was hoping she would be so happy that she would cry.
It's a big ask, Sarah.
No, I'm not saying
as emotional.
No, I'm not saying she needs to cry.
I'm
saying I think she probably will cry when she sees it. Isn't what I meant to say.
You better record it.
Let's see what else. Oh, I also wanted to share, I know I've talked about these labels in the past, but I have purchased I think I've been subscribing for a year now. It's a custom label club from Sweetwater. I've linked to these labels in the description in case you're interested in subscribing, but basically every month you get a custom printed quilt label with your name on it as the maker of the project, and they also have a tag club with like smaller tags, not full quilt label tags. So I'm going to hold, hopefully the camera can pick up, I'm going to hold a few of the tags that I have gotten in the past on the screen. And these are fabric tags and they're iron-on. So basically you just trim, the instructions say to trim 1/8 of an inch to the outside, which is what I've done in the past. And like, here's an example of one that I didn't end up using. But so you just trim it to size. I took a fabric marker and a permanent marker and wrote the recipient's name on there. And I think these are pretty interesting to have. And if you're not making quilts, if you're just making bags, they have the tag club because as you see, they all have my name on them. And it's really handy for gift giving. So I just have been collecting these in my stash. And as I make quilts, I will use them for the quilts. Again, link to the Sweetwater label club is in the description. And if you're interested in smaller ones, they have the tag club as well. And that'll come up in the link also. Let's see what else. I guess that's it. Now I'm going to announce the winner of last week's giveaway, and then I'll be answering some questions live. So if you have a question for me, let me know in the comments. It can be a general sewing question, bag making related question, question about a notion or tool. Type it in the comments right now. Danny will be collecting questions and he'll put them on the screen. I don't think you meant to do that.
You said the question.
Yeah, for people to ask me questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
You're
for
talking
the
about
end of the
giveaways and
show.
stuff.
That's for the end of the show.
I thought you were making it spicy.
Before we get over to me answering questions, I wanted to announce the winners of last week's giveaway. We had 2 winners, Shannon Frost May and Lizette Baez. So congratulations to both of you. Please email me after the show so that I can get you set up with your prizes. And I will have two additional prizes for the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Wanda says, Sarah, do you find it hard to find things after a good cleanup? I don't find it hard to find things, but I find it really interesting that while cleaning up, I come across all these things that I quote, unquote, have not seen before or forgot that I had. So it's sort of like I don't know, like a treasure hunt almost. Finding all these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I didn't know I had this, that kind of thing. Yeah, that happened a lot when I was cleaning up. I'll let you answer that one.
Yes, we did put up the tree. And when I say we, I mean I did put up the tree. But everyone decorated it. So it looks great. William even put his little extra touches of the candy canes we purchased about a couple weeks ago. But they were like, they looked like wild animals attacked the package and ate half of them. I'm assuming it's my kids. But yeah, it's up and all ready to go. Sarah had a really cool star she got for the top of the tree. It's from Super Mario Brothers. It's like when you hit the little boxes and a little star will pop out of it. That's what she has for it. It's really cool.
I found the star tree topper on Etsy, and they had a few different styles, and some of the styles were like a pixelated star, and the one we got was more of a smooth star with like the cartoon eyes. Stephanie says, Sarah, maybe you should offer an advent calendar with purse hardware. How fun would that be? Oh, that's an awesome idea.
Yep, I thought that was a great idea too. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
such a fun idea.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea so much. Thank you, Stephanie. With purse hardware, like maybe some unique stuff. All right.
Yeah, like special one-off stuff.
Yeah, like special.
Not something in the shop currently.
Limited edition type of stuff. Well, we'll probably have to get started on that like now.
Yeah, right. So be ready for next year.
The shipping situation is in the world. Maria says, your shirt is beautiful, Sarah. Is it embroidered? Thank you, Maria. It is a sweatshirt that I found on clearance at Anthropology. That store's a little bit out of my price range, but as it was on clearance, I got it. And yeah, the flowers are embroidered. Sarah says the labels just iron on. So yes, these labels that I was showing, they do iron on, but what I did was I first ironed them onto the back of the quilt, and then I top stitched like 1/8 of an inch to the inside of the label just to make sure it's permanently on there. And I tried to match, I didn't want to hand sew it, so I just top stitch it through all 3 layers, the batting, quilt top, and backing. And I just matched the thread color. So obviously the top thread matched the label, which was white. And then if my front of the quilt, if it had some color in it, I tried to match the thread to whatever part I was stitching through for the label. Wendy says, do you inventory your fabric or notions? Oh, no, I don't. But as I was reading that out loud, I was thinking in my brain, like, that sounds like a lot of work, but it would be really helpful to easily be able to pick fabric for a project. I just don't think I have time to inventory it, but it's a great idea. Margie says, are vinyl and fabric double-sided straps sturdy enough for a tote bag? Depends on the size of the bag. If you're doing vinyl on one side and fabric on the other side, probably would be a good idea to attach shape flex to the fabric, say if it's quilting cotton, and then I think that should be okay. I do have a video on my YouTube channel how to make double-sided straps, so you could make, as Margie's suggesting, that combo of the vinyl on one side and the fabric on the other side, and it's a free video. You can find that on my YouTube channel. I think if you just type in strap in the Sew Sweetness YouTube channel, that video should pop up. Gretchen says, did you already mention the great games y'all are doing this year? I'll try to put something together for next Sunday's show, just because number one, my memory's often pretty bad, and number two, I feel like I need to sit down and think of what my top 10 are, so I'll write that on my list for next Sunday. Top 10 games. I've gotten a lot of new games since this summer that we haven't played yet, so I might include a few new games with the asterisks that we haven't necessarily played all of them yet. Kim says, what's your favorite notion or notions? One of my favorites is, it's right over here because this is my sewing work table, the precision turning tool. It has like a metal rounded ball on one end, so it's a really great turning tool because it's not sharp, so it won't like poke a hole if you're turning a fabric right side out and need to poke out the corners. I really love this tool. This one's one of my favorites. We do have it in our shop in case you're interested in checking it out, and again, it's called the precision turning tool. Lori says, suggestions for storing smaller pieces of fabric, scraps, etc. I rarely buy full yardage, mostly remnants, and eventually things are too small for wrapping on cards or even folding. I have seen, actually, let me hop up really quick. I know you can't see them on camera, but on my shelves down here, well, maybe you could see it in the very corner of the screen. I made the Faithful storage bins. This is the small size. So this is a free pattern and video. Again, you can find it on my YouTube channel. And I purposely made them rainbow colors. I don't have anything in them right now, but this would be a great idea to store scraps and keep it on your shelf, because you could store by color. So all the yellow scraps in here, and I've got the other bins behind me as well. Simone says, oops, sorry, Danny.
Okay.
I make weighted shoulder wraps, sometimes with fleece. What is a good marking tool I can use? I struggle finding one that really stays visible when trying to see the tubes. Hope I explained correctly. Fleece fabric. It's been a while since I've sewn with fleece, so I'm not sure. I feel like this would work well, though. The Clover Choco, which has a white chalk in it. Let me see if the camera will pick it up. So it's got like a metal wheel over here, so as you run it, it only goes in one direction. As you run it over your fabric, the wheel dispenses some like chalk powder. Again, I don't have any fleece handy to test it out, but I feel like this would work pretty well. And I think the wheel would be better than, say, like a friction pen, because I feel like the friction pen might kind of get caught on the fleece and not draw a smooth line. I think the Clover Choco might be good for that, though. Jan says, can you fold Decoville heavy? I am making a fabric folded pocket holder, almost like a notebook. I used foam for the lining with the first attempt, but I'm wanting a thinner version. Should I stitch the Decoville where I want it to fold? Oh, I think I see what you're asking. You can do that. The stitching line will definitely help it fold, or I made a couple projects in the past and I'm not sure if I ever turned them into patterns. You could either have the full piece of the Decoville Heavy and then stitch where you want it to fold, or you could use separate pieces and then the fold area there's nothing. So maybe the two pieces, maybe say a quarter of an inch away, and then have a gap in between, and where the gap is, that's where it will fold. And additionally, you can also stitch down that area as well. So I think either of those two options will work. Which is better, Decoville or Shapeflex? So Decoville comes in Decoville Light and Decoville Heavy. Decoville Heavy is a little bit different than Peltex, but I think it's a good substitute for Peltex. And the Decoville Light, a good substitute for that is Pellon Decor Bond. So the Pellon Shapeflex is thinner than both of those, and I use that to reinforce my lining fabric. So if I'm using quilting cotton for the lining, I'll attach Pellon Shapeflex for the lining fabric, and I'll use it that way. Doris says, what can I line interface a dotted minky with to hold its shape for Christmas stockings? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe fusible fleece. If you have a better idea, though, let me know in the comments. Danny will keep an eye out, and maybe we can post it on the screen.
That Craft Tech, Peltech stuff.
For a stocking?
Inside of it.
I think that might be too stiff. Yeah, I'm thinking it would be too stiff. Sarah says, could you put the label on before quilting? You could put the fabric label on before quilting. The only thing is, if you're sending it off to be long-armed, you might need to have some coordination. If you're quilting it yourself, it would be much easier, because then you could just sort of orient your backing fabric to make sure that this label falls. I like to put my label on the bottom corner of the quilt. But the reason that I top stitch mine on there is because I have it long-armed first, and then when it comes back from long-arming, then I put the label on. Let's see. My hubby's account, sorry, love from Finland. I make project bags. Thank you so much for watching.
I've not seen someone from Finland before. That's why I put that up there.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially live for Sewcial Sunday. Thank you. Jackie says, do you look at a fabric and know instantly which project you will use it in? I wish in my dreams that would happen, but the reality is I have to go downstairs and stare at the fabric and go back and forth with different fabric choices. And even then, sometimes I finish the project. Like I finished a bag project a few weeks ago, and I thought it was the right fabric, but when I finished the bag, I was like, you know what, this just doesn't feel right. So I made the bag a second time, and the fabric choice that time was really amazing, but it's sort of 50-50 if it comes out and I super love it, or if it's just okay. I don't know. Amy says, I used quilt batting for our stockings, and because we hang them, it's perfect. Thank you so much, Amy. So quilt batting was one of those suggestions for the stocking. Mary says, use the interfacing that is used for t-shirt quilts for stocking body. Good idea, because the minky sometimes is a little bit stretchy. Jessie says, maybe a liner with fleece. Thank you so much, Jessie, for that. So a few options as far as choices for the stocking, the minky stocking. Sheila says,
Go take your drink of water. Relax.
Oh, okay.
Slow down. We're on a race, right? I'm going to get tons of comments. Says, Danny, slow down with the comments. Relax.
Sheila has a question. Have you used lace for any bags? If so, how do you recommend handling it? I actually have not worked with lace at all. I don't even have any in my stash. However, I'm sure someone watching live has. So if you have, go ahead and let us know in the comments and give us a recommendation for handling it. Thank you. Elaine says, I've seen clear edge coat. Is that a good alternative to trying to purchase all the Giardini colors, or can I use the black edge coat on other colors than black? So you can do either. The clear edge coat is one choice, just so you don't have to buy a color for every possible fabric that you might use, like blue, green, pink, and so on. I have seen store-bought bags with black edge coat, or edge coating before, and the bags were not black, they were different colors. And so I think either works. I guess it just depends on how particular you are. Me, I'm not so particular, so I'd be okay with having like black edge coat on a turquoise bag, but it's up to you. I think either the clear or the black would be okay if you don't want to invest in all the different colors. By the way, I talked about Giardini paints to paint the edges of, say, vinyl, leather, or cork. And if you're interested in watching that video, you can find that on my YouTube channel. Just type in Giardini with a G. Let's see. Norma says, did you purposely start your business or accidentally? That's a great question. Do you have any thoughts about that, or was it just so long ago that you...
You purposely start your business. Maybe your business was not the direction where it currently is, but you intentionally started your business.
It started off as a blog, and I was just making a sewing project every week, and I was proud to finish the project. I think I did...
Even before that, Sarah, when you actually started your business, not your blog, one, Sarah sold regular fabric on Etsy to start, and then she had an idea that she was going to do bags she was going to sell, and she mass-produced bags.
I totally forgot that I sold fabric at one time.
Yeah, so that's how the business started, and then moved to where we're at today, but it's not, the blog was not your business. I'm talking about your actual business.
See, when I say I have short-term memory, I don't even... Thanks for reminding me that I sold fabric at one time. It was actually on eBay, but... Wow, that's so funny.
Yep. One of the bedrooms converted. I built an entertainment stand that had our television, my computer to the next of it, and then we moved to a different room, and then that room turned into the fabric cutting and selling room.
It was basically like a dresser, and I remember unfolding the bolt that I was cutting the fabric like on the dresser, and because it was a dresser, it wasn't super wide, and so half the bolt was like hanging off the dresser, and I remember cutting it, and it was... Yeah, that's challenging.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Laura says, have you ever sewn with Craft Tex? I demonstrated it a few years ago. I haven't used it in a full-on project, but Craft Tex is basically paper that simulates leather. You wet it. You can sew with it, you wet it, and that gives it the leather-like appearance, and it's available in different colors as well. I found it's good for certain projects, like wallets, tote bags, things like that. I just thought it was okay. I'm sure it's just a personal preference, so that's why I haven't used it extensively in my sewing patterns. Erica says, how do you fussy cut or line up fabric for upper and lower panels? That's a great question, and I actually have a free video on my YouTube channel, how to fussy cut. It's actually I demonstrate how to fussy cut for a flap, but it can be applied to other things like pockets. So if you just go to the Sew Sweetness YouTube channel, or it's also on my website, and just type in fussy cut, that video should come up. Karen says, do you have a demo for adding stabilizer, Peltex, or Decaville Heavy, for example, to the bottom of any bag pattern to make it stronger? I have demonstrated how to use sew-in Peltex without having to sew it in place. So I use a bit of Shape Flex to kind of sandwich it to the fabric. So if you're interested in that video, again, you can type in Peltex in my YouTube channel, and that video should pop up. I've also used Peltex in the bottom of a bag, and actually have the sample. Actually, I don't know why I have the sample sitting here, but as I said, I was cleaning today, so I came across this. So I don't have Peltex in it right now, but basically I use decorative top stitching. This is like a bottom panel for a bag, and I cut the interfacing smaller than the fabric, and which you could do with the Peltex, and the top stitching holds the interfacing in place without you having to fuse it, and because it's cut smaller, it's kept out of the seam allowance. And I think also if you type in Peltex in my YouTube channel, that video should also pop up, I think. Anne says, hello, Sarah, you look beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne. Have you ever thought about getting an industrial sewing machine? We did, how many years ago was it? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We did look at an industrial Juki at a sewing machine shop, and
I don't think we went there for it, but it
no,
happened to be there when
they
you were
had
getting
one there.
service done.
Yeah, they had. Yeah, I brought my sewing machine in to get service, and they had industrial machines. We just don't have the space, and also I sort of like the idea of sewing on a home sewing machine rather than an industrial. So when I'm working on a pattern, I keep my expectations for what can be done on a regular sewing machine reasonable, rather than I'm worried if I was sewing on an industrial sewing machine only, I might put things into a pattern that would be difficult for some home sewing machines. And so those are the two reasons, I suppose. Anita says, have you ever sewn the lining bottom? Have you ever sewn the lining bottom to the outer fabric at the box seams? I think I did that in, I'm trying to remember at least a couple of patterns, either the Windsor pouch or the persimmon dumpling pouch. I can't remember. I think I did it for one of those two free patterns. I'm sure I've done it for others. Maybe the Brumby pouch from Minikin Season 3. Jan says, do you prefer using scissors rather than rotary cutters? If so, why? That's a really great question. The question makes me laugh. So when I'm rotary cutter would be the easiest and the most precise, to use a quilting ruler with a rotary cutter to cut things like rectangles, for instance. But what I usually do is I usually draw my pattern pieces on the wrong side of the fabric with a friction pen, or if the fabric is a dark color fabric, with Clover Choco. And then I just use my scissors and I cut the pieces out. So sometimes I go with the more difficult route, and I think in the case of using my scissors, that would be the slightly more difficult route. But yeah, that's how I cut out my pattern pieces for making bags. Jessie says, just do it, go industrial. I don't know. If we did get an industrial machine, it would probably have to go in the basement. So I don't know. Anne says, are you scheduling in a Christmas break? We're actually not. We're planning on Sewcial Sunday for next Sunday, as well as the Sunday after and the Sunday after that. So I think for now we're just planning on a short break during the summer, and we'll film for holidays. Yep. Carol says, is there a guideline for how far apart purse feet should be? For example, 2/3 of the length width apart. That's a good question, and I don't think I've ever thought about this a lot, especially if you're putting in 6 purse feet as opposed to just 4, one on each of the 4 corners. Usually I try to put the purse feet about 1.5 inches in from each of the corners. If it's a curved bottom corner, like something like this, I might adjust it to be maybe 2 inches, depending on the look I'm going for. But yeah, if you're doing, I'm not good at math, so if you're doing the 6 purse feet, I guess I'd have to think about that one a little bit. Hey, Ed.
I just want to say that picture was what sold me on this comment. Excellent picture. I don't know if that's Ed or Robin who make our template makers.
Ed makes our acrylic templates that we sell in the shop, and he says, Sarah and Danny, your story of how Sew Sweetness got started sounds like it would make a great book. I wonder if it would. I don't know. I do enjoy writing, so maybe... who knows?
So does Violet. Violet really enjoys writing.
Our daughter Violet is 13. She's an amazing writer. She had to do, her assignment the other day was to write a short story, and she asked me to double check it, which I know I'm not going to really find anything wrong with it, but I think I was expecting it to be like 1 page long-ish, and I opened it up and she's like, yeah, it's 14 pages, and it wasn't double spaced. It was just 14 full pages, and it was amazing. I mean, I was blown away when I read it. It was that good. So, yeah. Anyway, getting off on a tangent there. Wendy says, does quilting help with stability of a bag, or is it just decorative? It can help with the stability of the bag. By the way, if you are planning on quilting your exterior fabric, that's not what I was going to say, but
dang.
That's reasonable as well.
I thought I was going to beat you to it.
It's also noted in my patterns, you want to rough cut your fabric pieces about 1 inch larger than the size of the actual piece in the cutting instructions, so that while you're quilting your fabric to the interfacing, maybe foam interfacing, it'll account for any shrinkage, and then after you've quilted it, then you can cut it to the size needed per the pattern. And I do have a free video on my YouTube channel, how to quilt fabric for a bag, so you can check that out if you're interested in that. I do, about the stability, I feel like the foam interfacing gives the bags or pouches a good amount of stability, so certainly more crisp, fabric more smooth. I don't make a huge amount of quilted bags, but I do like how they look, especially when I'm looking through our Facebook. I love quilted materials.
Yep. Even I look at cars that have like seats that are quilted. It's like, wow, they just look so nice.
Gloria says, Sarah, would you consider making patterns for kids? And can you suggest a pattern for my 9-year-old granddaughter? She loves sewing with me. I don't have any patterns currently specifically for kids. However, my friend Latifa Safir has a collection of sewing and quilt patterns for kids, and her name is spelled Latifa, Latifah, and then her last name is Safir, Saafir. So you might want to check those out.
Sarah, take your drink. Don't interrupt.
Marie wants to know, is Pellon foam thicker than by Annie? Which is easier to use? So there's 3 main manufacturers that make foam interfacings for sewing and bag making. Pellon, by Annie Soft and Stable, and Bosal Interform. I feel like the densities for all 3 are a little bit different. The Pellon is about 1/4 of an inch in thickness, but it is a bit lofty, so it really does compress a lot through the sewing machine. The Bosal Interform, both of those 2, by the way, come in 3 different versions: sew and foam, 1-sided fusible, and 2-sided fusible. The Bosal Interform is the densest of the 3 and the most structure in the finished bag, in my opinion. And by Annie Soft and Stable is a little bit thinner than 1/4 of an inch in thickness, and it only comes in a sew-in version. It comes in 2 different colors, black or white. I usually use by Annie Soft and Stable, the white version, but everyone has their own personal preference, so you might want to try a project out with all 3 possibly to see which is your favorite. Wendy says, sometimes when I'm using rivets, when I squeeze them together, the rivets don't line up straight, top and bottom caps. What am I doing wrong? I could be wrong, but my initial thought is maybe the thickness is too thick for the size rivets you have, because rivets come in different post lengths. If I am wrong, though, if you're watching and you disagree, let us know in the comments. And I have recently posted 2 different videos for removing rivets. One is with rivet cutters. You can find that video on my YouTube channel, or a rivet removal tool. I think you should just be able to type in rivets in the Sew Sweetness YouTube channel, and both of those videos should pop up. Angela says, I would love for you guys to make labels for bags with the name of the bag. Oh, that's a good idea. Labels for bags. Let me write that down.
Sarah and Danny, what is your favorite non-traditional Christmas movie?
Home Alone. Is that a traditional Christmas?
I consider it a traditional Christmas movie now. Maybe now it's not like It's a Wonderful Life, or that it'd be traditional. But to me, I grew up on Home Alone. I saw it in the movie theater as a kid. It's one of my son's favorite Christmas movies, so I would consider that traditional. But I'm unsure if that's viewed that way. Mm-hmm. I don't know what a non-traditional Christmas movie
Home Alone.
would be.
We had Home Alone on VHS, and we would just watch it every day. Home Alone, Home Alone, Home Alone.
So I can't answer that question because I'm not sure what's non-traditional. Could you? Me, I'm going to pick traditional stuff. I like Frosty the Snowman. I like the old little animated where it looks like Gumby, where they're like, I don't know if it's stop animation or whatnot, where it looks like they're made out of clay. And there's the ones with like St. Nicholas or St. Nick, where he comes back and there's a toy miser, takes all the toys from the kids in town, and he comes back and gives the kids toys and gets mad and ends up turning the guy to his friend. But I like those old ones. I could watch those all day, every day.
Are you calling it on the questions?
No other questions.
Okay, I apologize if I did not get your question live, but we will be back
again. If you
again.
didn't, it's my fault because I don't see it anywhere.
We'll be back again next Sunday. I'll be on the show next Sunday with the notion of the week, a book review, new fabric that I've added to my stash, all of that. So tune in next Sunday. And
a lot of people are saying Die Hard. I like Die Hard. I remember seeing that as well.
I don't think I've ever seen Die Hard.
Yep.
Okay.
With Bruce Willis?
I don't think I've ever seen it, no.
Wow. I might have to watch that one with the kids.
All right, so just as we did last week, we're going to have one live winner and one, what do you call it? You have a whole week to enter like normal. So again, I have 2 more boxes of Orful thread. This is Orful 40 weight thread, which is the thread that I use for my projects. And let me show you what the box looks like. So this is the prize for the live winner. It's a black box of 3 blue spools of Aurifil 40 weight thread, and the thread colors are, let's see if I could pull those out. Here's the thread colors in that box. So these are the large spools, which will last for quite a long time. And the other box is for the, you have until this Sunday to enter for the giveaway for this box of Aurifil. And those are the colors in that box.
Sorry, I'm hiding that color.
All right, so how we pick the giveaway winners is we combine the comments from Facebook and YouTube, and Danny has all the comments on his laptop over here, and I'm just going to give him 2 numbers. The first number is, the comments are collected in pages of 20 comments per page, so the first number he's asking me for is the page that the comment's on, and then the second number is just 1 through 20.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Okay, so my first number is going to be, what am I choosing from?
1 through 57.
We'll go with 15.
All right,
And
1 through
number 2.
20. Mary Grace Knowlton.
Mary Grace, you won the blue spool of the Aurifil thread right there. So please email me after the
Congratulations, Mary.
show. Please email me after the show, and I will get you set up with your box of Aurifil. And for that orange box, you have until the end of the day this Saturday to leave a comment on this show wherever you watch on either Facebook or YouTube. And for an extra entry, I have another question that you can answer in the comments.
You guys might have saw it earlier.
Yeah, Danny put it up there earlier by accident. What's your favorite dip or topping?
Is that for fabric?
No. I wrote down either hot fudge for ice cream or raspberry jam for topping for breads or bagels.
I love ooey gooey melted cheese for everything. French fries, potato chips.
Not on ice cream though, right?
I mean, I wouldn't give it up trying.
All right, so put your answer in the comments right now. I will draw one randomly drawn winner at the end of the day this Saturday and announce the winner for that orange box of Aurifil on next Sunday's show. And for next Sunday's show, I think I have 8 of those boxes of Aurifil thread left. So
Oh my
we'll
goodness.
be giving away the other 8 boxes on next Sunday's show. So thank you so much for watching Sewcial Sunday. I hope you have a great week and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.